Hello and welcome everybody to my second installment of my player analysis series. If you tuned in to yesterday's cast where I did a bit of analysis on Select's ZV... oh man, what was it? Oh, TVZ. Then we're going to do a little bit of that again. If you're watching this again, I'm currently in Denver, Colorado, away, and so these are all pre-recorded little analysis games that I did. Kind of think of them like mini Day 9 dailies. Kind of like Day 9 dailies, but kind of mini, compressed, short, hopefully under 15 minutes. Yesterday I definitely failed to be above the 15-minute mark, or I failed to be below the 15-minute mark rather, so it went a little bit long and I had to break it up into two parts, plus my whole computer crashed and that was a problem. So for today's, I'm going to be doing just a little bit of ZvZ analysis of Spanishiwa. Spanishiwa is a Zerg player that I love to see a ZvZ. Why? Because it's very analytical, it's very logical, and so I love the way he scouts and the way he's very analytical in his play. If you ever watch his live stream, he's very he counts drones, he will scout his opponent, see exactly what his opponent's doing, and based on what his opponent's doing will always change his playstyle. But what he does in this game is a very, very smart, very logical way of thinking. Now, this is on, oh my god, what is this map called? God, I can't remember this map. All I know is that I've always hated this map. God, it'll come to me, it'll come to me. Anyway, but on this map there's only 2 spawning locations, so his Overlord was able to immediately go and check out what his opponent is doing. He saw that his opponent had gone pool first, but was not going for any super early pressure, and because the ground distance is very, very long on this map, he went for a very, very fast hatchery. I believe this was a 15 hatchery. I could be wrong. I will put the build order, again, like yesterday, down below for you guys to all check out if you really want to follow that build order that closely. And now that he sees the pool has gone down, he's just going to get out of there and he's going to go check out his opponent's expansion to see if there's any expansion going down. What did he do with his second Overlord? Very important attack path. He sent his second Overlord right out here along this second attack path because he wants to know the moment his opponent is moving out with forces, he needs to be able to immediately go and build some units to defend. So, what has he done? He's now gotten a fast hatchery and then spawning pool, or extract, oh man. He's gotten a fast spawning pool followed immediately by an extractor. Again, the food counts don't matter too terribly much. What matters is doing it as you have the money for it. But he's gotten a fast spawning pool while producing a lot of drones. He's gotten an extractor, and with his first 50 gas, the second he has 50 gas, he throws down a Baneling nest. Why? Because what can his opponent do to him right now? He is scouted, his opponent has a spawning pool. What can his opponent do? Speedlings. That's about it. That's about it right now. His opponent can do speedlings, and what is really damn good against speedlings? Banelings. Banelings, 2 Banelings can kill massive numbers of those speedlings. So what's Spanishiwa going to do? He's going to get up this hatchery, and he's going to say, well, you know what? If all you can get is speedlings right now, I'm just going to get a few Banelings to be defensive, and then I'm going to get my Zergling speed up, I'm going to be nice and safe, and I'm going to sit back and get a ton of drones. Use all these larvae to get drones. If we can check out the Harvester tab right now, we can see that this guy is actually, our blue Zerg friend over here, is actually going for a big Zergling push. Not important. What's important is that Spanishiwa is getting a lot of drones, and look at this. The second he sees that those Zerglings are coming his way, what does he do? He makes Banelings. He doesn't make them ahead of time. He has good scouting. He places Overlords in good positions, and then the second he sees those Zerglings moving out, he doesn't waste resources on these Banelings until he knows the Zerglings are coming. Once the Zerglings are coming, he throws down those Banelings. This means that his Zergling speed came up much faster. If he would have gotten these Banelings first, that Zergling speed would not have been up nearly as fast. He would have had to make these Banelings, then he would have had to save up another 100 gas for, I mean, this is already right here. This is 150 gas right here. That's a lot of gas in the early game. Whereas now he got his Zergling speed, he's got a few Banelings in the map, doing fair trades right now. He's trading Banelings for Banelings at the moment, but again, he's trying to be very defensive. He's placing all his Banelings in defensive places. Look where he's placing them. He's placing them here, so that as the Zerglings come around the ledge, they will just be hit by Banelings, and he's putting them at the top of this ramp where they can't be seen, but until his opponent gets up this ramp, then all of a sudden his Zerglings are hit with Banelings. In the meantime, what's he doing? Drones! More drones, more drones, all over more drones. If we check out the production tab, he's actually slowing down his drone production right now just because he knows his opponent is going for this really, really heavy Zergling play, so he knows, ooh, Spanishiwa loses actually a lot of lings there, a little bit of miscontrol there by Spanishiwa, but these banelings are the important factor. He needs to have these placed in good positions, and now that he's got his banelings up and he feels like he's repelled this, what does he go back to doing? Drones! Look up here, 7 drones on the production tab. So many drones. If we check out the harvesters right now, 38 to 23. This is a horrible position for our blue Zerg to be in, but what has he done? He's gone for a lot of early aggression, so he's given up a lot of larvae to producing a lot of Zerglings. Spanishiwa has produced a lot less Zerglings, but he's produced a few banelings. He's using power units. He's using units that are very low in larva cost, but very, very high in resource cost to try to defend, to be very defensive. And he's going to have to be very careful. A lot of times this can feel very sketchy. For Zerg players, a lot of times this can feel like, oh, it feels like it can be very, very back and forth, and Spanishiwa actually loses focus there for a second, doesn't have banelings in the right spot, and a bunch of Zerglings get into his base and deal a lot of damage. They really shouldn't have been able to get in there and deal that much damage. And they are going to come, and on the way out, Spanishiwa is going to catch him with that Baneling, but they shouldn't have really gotten into that base to begin with. Checking out the harvester count, Spanishiwa is now behind a little bit, but if those Zerglings hadn't gotten into the base, and he had more Banelings placed up here, he would have been absolutely fine. He would have came out way ahead in that exchange. So Spanishiwa, currently ahead in the food count, could be even farther ahead. Not his best played game, that is for sure, but that's what I want to do. I want to illustrate to you what exactly he's going for. Now that he feels like he's repelled this attack and he doesn't need to produce anymore, he's now using all his larvae on drones, and he is now bringing up an evolution chamber and a roach horn. He's continuing down his tech path, and he now has some Zerglings placed at the front of Blue Zerg's base. This is just to see what his opponent's doing. He's going to check and see, is his opponent droning now, or is his opponent continuing to make Zerglings? He sees that his opponent's still making quite a few Zerglings, and so he's getting a few more Banelings just to be safe. In the meantime, checking out the Harvester tab right now, we can see Spanishiwa is 4 Harvesters up. In ZvZ, 4 Harvesters is a lot of Harvesters to be up. You never want to be any Harvesters up if you can help it in ZvZ. It's very, very critically important that you are never up or below in Harvester count. Nice Baneling control there by Spanishiwa. Actually going to try to go around and block these Zerglings from the back. Oh, those Banelings almost connecting there, but the Roaches are now out on the field, so Spanishiwa is now starting to get fairly well saturated at his natural, very well saturated on his main. I think he is at a little over 16 Harvesters. Yep, looks like 17 Harvesters. And Spanishiwa is doing a little bit of chasing just to be sure that his opponent is pushed back to his base, keeping his opponent pinned back. He has a couple of Roaches now. He produced a couple of Roaches. He's got these Banelings to take any Zerglings, but he's got these Roaches to be able to take Baneling hits. He can put these Roaches out at the front of the pack if there are Banelings and absorb the Baneling damage with those Roaches, and then bring in his Zerglings for the attack. Right now he's moving up into his opponent's main. What does he see? He moved up with those Banelings first to try to deal damage to any potential Zerglings that are up there. Sees that there's a lot of Roaches and says, oh my god, I need to pull back now because he's switched to roach production. So he's pulling back to his base now, and now he's just going to start producing Roaches like mad. And why is he okay right now? Why is Spanishiwa okay right now? Because in the early game, he spent larvae on drones. Even now, he's up 7 Harvesters. That's so many Harvesters in ZvZ. That is so many Harvesters. He knows he's way ahead in Econ. That is why this is okay. He's okay. He's going to spend just a moment here. There's going to be a scary moment where these Roaches are going to push in, but his economy is already starting to kick in, and he's already starting to be able to outproduce, as we see on the food tab. 101 food to 90 food. He actually didn't have Banelings there in position again, and the Zerglings got by. Again, having just a couple of Banelings there would have stopped this entire run by. But now, Spanishiwa, in a good position economically, he knows he can now outproduce his opponent. He knows his opponent spent a lot of money, or a lot of larvae, rather, on Zerglings in the early game. He knows he has to be pretty well up in the drone count right now. Still has Overlords along all the critical attack paths. I'm going to go to Spanishiwa's view right now. Look at Spanishiwa's vision. He has vision along this entire attack path as well as along the center. And guess what? Now that he's in a good spot, Now he can open up this attack path on this particular map. Sure, this works out. This doesn't work on every map. But now the idea is the same. Spanishiwa, now he's ahead in econ. He knows he's ahead in econ. So he's just going to start producing roaches like crazy. And he's going to go in there and deal a lot of damage. And he's just going to win this game. He's going to break down these rocks. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit. Rocks get broken down. He's going to move in. If we check out the units tab right now, we can see Spanishiwa is up 32 to 24. That econ is in full effect right now. Spanishiwa way ahead in the food count. And it is way too early to have infestors of any kind. I wouldn't be surprised to see some infestation pits going down for Spanishiwa. None going down yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if this attack were to not go this well. Spanishiwa would probably be getting that infestation pit because those infestors are just so good in ZvZ. But that is not for this game, as this is about to be the end of this game. More Roaches just streaming in, and Spanishiwa takes a pretty easy win off of his opponent. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Defensive Banelings. Defensive Banelings while you get lots of drones, and then once your drones are up, lots and lots and lots of Roaches, because you are ahead in the econ. Look at that, 127 food to 67 food. So far ahead, so many Roaches still alive. Such a good position to be in for Spanishiwa. If you guys enjoyed this, tune in tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm going to do something with Protoss, since I did Terran and I did Zerg, and I'm going to do something with Protoss. I don't know what yet. But I'm going to do something. I'm actually going to do it right now, but you guys won't see it till tomorrow. If you guys are watching this and this just came out, you're going to see it tomorrow. You get the idea. More tomorrow, guys. Glitch out.